What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight. Okay. Yep, that's it, all right. Making their debut on the channel tonight. We have Lunarsea. Yes, indeed. How about that? Lunarsea making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Brent Winship, and Brent wanted to see me react to this song by Lunarsea called Lighthearted in an Ergonomic Resin. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, oh, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Lunarsea Topic, okay? And the video has 6,400 views. Well, there you go. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Lighthearted in an Ergonomic Resin. That's all I got. It does say Lunarsea up here. Okay, so pretty sure we're in the right spot. Look, if we're not in the right place, don't blame me. But blame Brent. He's the one who gave me this link. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Build. Now it feels like we're in the main groove. Really nice subdivision work. So it sounds like that's all intro. Okay. Almost 2-minute long intro. Now, there have been bands I've had on the channel that have done this. Had an intro that's been, 2 minutes. 2 minutes out of a, 8-minute long song, 6-minute long song. And it really kind of makes me scratch my head and go, why? Because it really didn't accomplish anything. It really didn't do anything. It was just nothing but dribble. It just went on and on and on and on and on with no growth, no direction, no evolution, no purpose. And I've had other bands who have had intros that are like 1.5 to 2 minutes, sometimes even more, where there is growth, there is direction, there is purpose. And I like those. I like those intros because they set the mood and tone for what's to come. It's a pre-frame. They're pre-framing the listener for, this is what we're going to show you now. And by doing so, we're going to show you what's going to be coming later. I like that. I absolutely like that. This intro right here, great example of that. It set the mood and tone for what's to come, I have a feeling. I don't know 100%. I could be wrong about that, but they were demonstrating a lot of growth. And there was just starting out with piano, going to bass and guitar and piano. When the drums kicked in, everybody came in with those big hits and sustains. And then we left the sustains behind and we went to subdivisions to help give this song and give the intro even more energy, even more life, even more direction. See, I got no problem with that. None. As a matter of fact, I will usually bump it up just a little bit because of the fact that they had an intro that was 2 minutes that did the job that an intro should do by setting the mood and tone for what's to come. I don't know about that's 100%. I could be wrong, and we could get into the main part of the song, and it's a ballad, And at which point I'm going to look at that point, I'm going to look at the intro and go, what was the point? What did you do? Why did you have that grandioso, big, impressive intro when you're dropping us off at the pool, and the pool is, ballad central? What are you thinking? I don't know. I haven't heard the song, so I'm not 100% sure. I guess we're going to find out. Let's keep going. So far, I'm not mad at it, though. Kind of reminds me of early Soilwork a little bit, like Chain Heart Machine or Steel Bath Suicide. The vocals are not like Soilwork. Sick, something forward. Oh, more of that, please. That's 3 different types of grit growling for. I don't say this very often on the channel. I wish I could. I wish I could say this more often than I do. But there is something to be said about keeping it rare and keeping it extremely infrequent. Because when I do say what I'm about to say, y'all know I mean it, and it makes it even more special. I love this. Oh my goodness. I love this. This reminds me, not so much from the vocal standpoint, but from the instrumentation standpoint, the songwriting standpoint, the arranging standpoint, who plays what, where, when, and how. This reminds me of Soilwork. Early Soilwork. Chain Heart Machine. Steel Bath Suicide. Predator's Portrait. That's kind of where they started to shift gears a little bit. And look to get a little more, mass media appeal. Which then led to Natural Born Chaos and my personal favorite album from them, Figure Number 5. And then later on, they got even more and more commercial. But I still like them. I absolutely still love them. Even the more commercial stuff, I still love. But early Soilwork, like I said, Steel Bath Suicide, definitely Chain Heart Machine, and like I said, to some extent, Predator's Portrait. This sounds exactly like that. The only difference is the vocals. The vocals on here, I'm hearing the vocalist do, so far, I've heard 3 different styles of grit and growl from the lead vocalist. Now, I've also been hearing some clean vocals in there, which is nice. Don't get me wrong. I am glad, I am thrilled that we have some clean vocals in there. I wish we had more. I do wish we had more. And I've seen a couple opportunities where we could have switched out some of the grit and growl and put clean vocal in. Lower register clean vocal, not upper register. But the instrumentation, thick, crunchy, solid, full sounding, doesn't sound hollow at all. I suspect this is a 6-person group. I suspect they have, vocals, drums, bass, 2 guitars, and keyboard. I suspect it's a 6-person makeup, just like Soilwork. The subdivision work is killer. We've been in 4/4 this whole time. Make no mistake about it. We've been in 4/4 time the entire song, but we've heard 6/8 subdivision work. We've heard switching with feel between double time, straight time, and half time. We've felt some nice subdivision changes, but nothing ever pointed toward key signature change, because I've been grooving along in 4/4 the entire time. So that's nice. I like that. I really, really am enjoying this. I know I don't see that very often on the channel. I wish I could. I wish I could honestly say, oh, I love this every single time I hear something. But unfortunately, the reality is I don't. But when I do say I love it, that you guys know I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. You guys know I'm not gonna say that lightly. So beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm enjoying the hell out of this without question. Let's get back into this, shall we? Double time. So many parallels between Soilwork and this group. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Call and response, clean with grit and growl response. I like that. That female vocal on the top, in the background, I like that. I'm digging this, man. That triplet subdivision. Da, 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 da. Yeah. How are they going to end this? Staggered exits. I like it. Taking voices out, letting it get thinner and thinner and thinner until we just had ambient sound in the back. But when we did have the ambient sound in the back, it wasn't like we were there for 30 to 45 seconds. They literally had it in there for 12 seconds. That was it. No fluff. Whew. Man. It has been a long time since I've had a song on the channel that I have enjoyed listening to for the first time as much as I've enjoyed this. It's been a while. It has absolutely been a while. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Lunarsea with Lighthearted in an Ergonomic Resin. This was a request from Brent Winship. Okay. I think I've already made my stance about how I personally feel about this song. How much I personally enjoyed this. I don't think there's any guesswork there. I loved this, okay? I do not say that lightly, and I do not say that often. But I, without a shadow of a doubt, I loved this song. I loved it so much that while I was transitioning, I went on a little journey, and I went over to their Bandcamp page, and I found they have 4 full-length albums, and I bought all 4 of them.
You what?
And I got the digital downloads, and I'm going to be listening to them later. I checked, before I did that, though, I did check the queue. There are no more requests for them in the queue. So do not, I repeat, do not ask me to react to any more songs from Lunarsea, because my answer is going to be too late. I've already listened to it. I'm going to listen to these guys over this weekend. Whoo, what a great, man. What a great start. Absolutely dug everything I heard. I cannot wait to hear the rest of that album. And then I'm going to work, this was actually the first track. This song that we listened to, Lighthearted in An Ergonomic Resin, that's the first track on their latest album. And I'm going to start there, and I'm going to work my way backwards. I can't wait to hear what the rest of the album brings. If it's anything like this, we're going to be in for a good time. But I've already bought all 4 albums. I'm going to get to them on my own. So please do not request on the Patreon page that I do more reactions to Lunarsea, because it's not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. Now, I loved this so much, I went and bought the entire discography. That says something, right? Okay. But it may not always translate well to a score, unfortunately. As much as I would love to give this a higher score, I just cannot bring myself to do it. Not from looking at it objectively, taking my own personal feelings out of it. Looking at the song objectively, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.3. Yep, 8.3. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.3, what does that mean? Well, an 8.3 would translate to a great scale rating, because overall, I think this was from an objective standpoint, I think this was a great song, okay? Personally, I think it's an amazing song. But looking objectively, it's a great song. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.3, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. I really wish I could give this a higher score. I do. I on a personal level, this would be up in the 9s. This would absolutely be up in the 9s. It did everything right. It did everything I look for in songs that I really enjoy. That intro, I know I've made a lot of comments in the past about bands who have long intros, and I've been very critical of bands who have long intros. And I have my reasons, and I've always listed my reasons. And I've always said if they didn't do this, and they didn't do this, and they didn't do this, they would have been fine. You know? But those are those bands. This band is one of the few bands that has a 2-minute long intro, and the intro was done 100% right. It served a purpose. It evolved. It grew. It led us in a direction, took us down a path, and dropped us off right at the beginning of the song in a very appropriate manner. It pre-framed us as listeners as far as what to expect. You can expect us to do this, 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 and this. And they did that during the course of a 2-minute, almost 2-minute long intro. And it set the mood and tone beautifully for what came later. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what an intro is supposed to do. That's exactly what an intro is supposed to do. And they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. I had no problem listening to that 2-minute long intro. It did everything it needs to do. It did it in a very clean and effective manner, and there was no fluff. It did exactly what it had to do, and then it left us hanging and wanting more, which they delivered on later on in the song. The instrumentation on this, the guitar tones, thick and crunchy. I love that. It sounds like it's being reinforced by a keyboard. I suspect this is a 6-person group. I suspect there are vocals. I suspect there are drums and bass, obviously. I suspect there are 2 guitars, okay, and a keyboard player. Now, do some of those guitars or keyboards or bass players, do some of those guys do vocals as well? Possibly. Very possibly. I don't know. I did hear female vocals in there. So I don't know. Maybe one of their musicians in the band is a female. Maybe the keyboard player. Maybe one of the guitar players. Maybe the bass player. I don't know. Maybe she's the one doing it. Or maybe it's track. I'm not 100% certain. But in any case, it sounded full. Like, it sounded full without being, how should I put this? Presumptuous, maybe is a good way to put it. It didn't sound like there was a whole lot of filler in there. It's not like there was, 5 instruments and then 14 to 17 tracks of, track usage. It didn't feel like that at all. It felt very organic. The vocals. Okay. My one point of contention, the vocals. And I'm not even mad at it. I'm not upset. Okay. It is what it is. But there was a lot of grit and growl, and there was some clean vocal. Okay, and I would say it was about a 70-30 mix. 70% grit and growl, 30% clean. I would have loved to have seen it about a 60-40 and switched. If it had been 40% grit and growl, 60% clean vocal, I think I would have enjoyed it even more. Not to say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And whenever the clean vocals did come in, I thoroughly enjoyed them, and I felt a sense of relief to some extent. Now, maybe that's their intent. Maybe they're trying to do that. Maybe they're trying to make that type of a feeling happen for the listeners. And if that's the case, mission accomplished. They did it. You cannot knock them for it. It was done very effectively, very cleanly, and one of the reasons why I'm not mad at it is the grit and growl vocal. It wasn't the exact same grit and growl style the entire time. There was at least, that I counted, there was at least 3 different styles of grit and growl. So it kept me vested, it kept me interested, it kept me engaged. I didn't go, drifting off into dreamland whenever I heard the grit and growl going, oh, here we go again. Now, I was wondering, okay, which one are we going to go? Are we going to change? Are we going to evolve? Where are we going to go? So it kept me guessing, which is always a good thing. The subdivision work on this, holy smokes. I want to be very clear. They never changed time signature. They stayed in 4/4 the entire time. Now, they did switch up into 6/8. They did switch up into a 12/8 feel, a 6/8 feel, double time feel, half time feel, and straight time feel. That was all due to their exceptional subdivision work. And sometimes the subdivisions was done strictly in the drums. Sometimes it was strictly in the guitars and bass. Sometimes it was everybody in unison playing those syncopated subdivisions all together to make it sound even more powerful and even tighter. It changed up a little bit each time, and it wasn't the same thing over and over again. Don't get me wrong, I love I love syncopated subdivisions. I do. But sometimes when it's done through an entire song, and that's all it is, it can get a little mundane. It can. And depending on how long the song is, if it's like a 3.5 minute to 4 minute long song, then there's nothing to worry about. But if it's like an 8 minute long song, and the only thing going for it are those syncopated subdivisions, it's nice, it sounds good, but it does leave you wanting, as far as, can we have some variety? They had a great amount of variety in a 6 minute long song. Not including the intro. The intro had some great, the intro I was kind of getting vibes, just a tiny shade of a song by Dream Theater called Fortune and Lies. Kind of reminded me a little bit, the intro kind of reminded me of the intro from A Fortune and Lies. Yeah, that big grandioso down, bottom, doon, do, down, down, down. It's just those unison hits, those sustained chords. We had that in the beginning. I was like, this kind of sounds a little Dream Theater-ish. But then we moved on. I was like, oh, this sounds like Soilwork. And it absolutely does. It sounds like early Soilwork, like Chain Heart Machine, Steel Bass Suicide, Predator's Portrait. Yeah, I can see that a little bit. But that's where it would end. I wouldn't go as far as go like Natural Born Chaos or Figure Number 5. Definitely not. And definitely not the more modern stuff. I don't see that at all. But definitely early Soilwork. This sounds just like it. It sounds amazing. I absolutely dug it. The ending. Talk about a great way to end with their ability to go for over a minute where they were just drawing it out, yes, but it wasn't just drawing it out and leading us, after a minute long draw out to a linear fade. No, they had those staggered exits. Let's pull this voicing out. Okay, let's pull these 2 voicings out. Okay, let's pull this voicing out. Let's pull everything out and leave the ambient sound to finish in the last 12 seconds. It didn't go on for too long. It didn't get drawn out for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And most importantly, when we did get to that ambient sound, there wasn't 48 seconds of it like I've heard other bands do. That was literally 12 seconds and it was over and done. No fluff. Again, go in, do your damage, get out. Just like a good DPS should. I absolutely loved this. If it were up to me, basing my score on my personal feelings, this would be up in the 9s, mid 9s. I would personally give this a score somewhere in the mid 9s. But looking at the song objectively, it doesn't quite go up there. It not quite, but I want to. But no, I think looking at this song objectively, overall, it's a great song. It is a great song. And I have no problem giving it that 8.3. In closing, like I said, I've already purchased the entire discography. Do not go on Patreon and make requests for me to react to more of them. It's going to be too late. By the time I get to your request, it's going to be a couple of years, and I will have already gotten into these guys deep, very deep. So I'm looking forward to listening to what else they have, and maybe I'll do a live stream. Maybe I'll do a live stream and listen to one of their albums. We'll listen to it all together. I don't know, but we'll see. There's enough demand for it. I'll make it happen for you guys. But in any case, 8.3, that's exactly where we need to be with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.3, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.